Hi, everybody. Let me read the disclaimer. All information provided on this channel is for educational purposes only, and this channel does not promote or encourage the misuse of the information. I will mention some alleged happenings today and my opinions too. But remember, your thoughts and opinions are equally important in sharing our discussions. I will use words not intended to offend people, but to describe my point of view and how I see things. Take what resonates with you and what does not resonate with you, put it on the shelf or throw it away. Now, this is Let's Chat. What's on your mind? What's on my mind is Sean Cone today. But I'm going to sit and wait and see if some people are going to come in before I get started. Uh, it's a beautiful day. I tell you, people don't pay attention to the smoke screen sometimes. I wanted to talk about this because I don't know. Hi Raquel, how you doing? I don't know what can be done about abuse and what is being done about the molestation and the rape and the abuse. But we're still putting it out there. We're still speaking in the atmosphere. And I am seeing quite a few things exposed. I'm doing great, Raquel. I am doing great. I got up and I cleaned up yesterday, which I don't normally clean up on Saturdays, but I cleaned up yesterday. I wanted to wash the car today. I got out there and washed the car, came back in, sit around for a little bit and did my little stretches. I have 7 stretches that I do daily. Since I went to uh, the place my daughter took me to, it's been working out pretty good. My body is still uh, becoming more flexible. Before it was just real stiff. So I'm excited. I'm excited about uh, being able to do my little walking like I used to, because well, that was in the before 2014. I used to walk 3.5 miles daily, and I used to cut the grass, which my son had 1 acre of land, and so I would cut that grass. That would be my little exercise. And then when I wasn't cutting grass, I would walk 3.5 miles, and that used to keep my legs strengthened. And after that, I didn't walk as much. You think going into the grocery store and coming home and just walking into different stores daily would help there loosen the legs up, but it didn't. So last time you were on your spoke about high rent, high inflation. I would like to know, is that also an attack on the root chakra? Well, of course it is. You got to understand the chakra. The chakra is duality. So you got the high and the low in each chakra. So you got the uh those that are doing it. Of course, they're operating from the root chakra. You know, and so that's just the way it is. That's duality in your chakra system, and you got to understand when people are operating in their low chakra. You know that. The because if they're grounded in the low chakra, they would have compassion. They don't have compassion. Like I say, they keep raising uh, things for people that are in business, but they're not uh, uh, giving people raises to fit what they're doing, and also Social Security, as well as disability Social Security. They're not raising. They're not making it equal. They're making it very uncomfortable. That's why so many people are homeless. You know, and people don't look around and take a look at the environment until they are affected by it. The only time people get affected by the environment is when they are affected, when it's hitting them directly. If it's not hitting them directly, they tend not to be interested in what someone else is going through. It's just like sharing. I can share my story about something, and it could be 10 people in here listening to my story, but only one. I mean, there could be 10 people in here, but only one person is listening to my story, because one person is, and I'm used to that. I'm used to just because they're the majority does not make them all interested. I'm used to that. You know, and that applies in everything. You got people that will appear to be interested, but when it uh, comes all down to it, they're not interested. In other words, they sit and tell you how they would like to see people happy, how they would like to see people economically financed, uh, but they really don't. They really don't. These running mouth, right? So how are we supposed to balance the root chakra if they are throwing off our economic, especially if they are doing it on purpose? You can do it. You just have to keep striving, Raquel. There's no particular thing that I could tell you other than go inside yourself. There's no particular thing I can tell you other than there's uh high and low in root chakra. In each chakra, there's high and low. You gotta utilize the chakra system, period. And they will use your chakra system to defeat you, because most people are ignorant of the chakra system. Most people are ignorant of it. They are afraid of what they don't know. You just have to. I would suggest, Raquel, the people that focus on the chakra system mostly are those that are in India. So I would hi human being, how you doing? I would connect with someone from India. Each culture have its forte. India has the chakra system. Uh, and then you got China that has their system. and then you got America that has Christianity and Islam, and what's the other one? Judaism. But even in those three things, uh, it's just a matter of words. I give you, for instance, like the Kundalini is called Chi, CHI, and then in the Christianity, it may be called the Holy Spirit. So, have you heard of the prison planet theory? Yes, I have heard of the prison planet theory. You want to share what you know about the prison planet theory, human being? Go ahead. While you're sharing what you need to share about the human being, uh, about the prison theory, I'm going to read Raquel's comment. So the root chakra is unstable because of inflation, high rent, mortgages. It's a distraction. All that stuff is a distraction to keep you worried about how you're going to pay your bills and stuff. All of it. Yes. Does it affect the root chakra from being grounded? Of course it does. Yes, it does. Any type of distractions will affect your chakra system from elevating, from elevating within your chakra system. Yeah, yeah, I heard that we're trapped here. Uh, I At the end of the day, I'm still learning, and at the end of the day, when I'm done, whatever what I'm done with, uh, I wouldn't be surprised that it's all been a game, and that game thing keeps coming back to me, and so I just kind of put it on the shelf for now and just keep moving to see what it's going to be. The end result is going to be. The Gnostics taught us how to escape. The God of this world, the demiurge, is evil, right? Okay, keep going. I'm not saying it's the truth, but I know I've heard that too. I've read that. Keep going. Yes. See, the problem that we all have had, we relied on the school system to teach us the truth, which they didn't. We relied on the church, those of us that went to church to tell us the truth, and they didn't. And we also, it was implanted in our heads that all books are the truth, and they're not. And so what we're doing, we're having to just reflect back to our inner self to just really kind of start all over again, but start all over within ourselves and letting go what we were taught piece by piece by piece. And that's what we're doing. But the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament don't seem the same to me. Okay. Raquel says, "Thank you, Miss Deborah, because I want to participate in the conversation last time, but I could not listen because I was at work." Yes, I want you to come participating because you have something to say. All of us have something to say, and we can figure this thing out just by communicating. It's a world of lies. It is the inner Gnostic. Do you believe in reincarnation? Uh, that's what they keep doing. That's what keeps happening to people. They keep reincarnating over and over and over in this earth. I had I don't know if I died or it was a near death experience. Let's just say hi Jesse. I mean Genesis, how you doing? The you believe the benevolence Almighty is phenomenal? Yes, I do. It's too much evidence for me, human being, to know that. The reason being is that if you look at the Bible in a literal sense, it really tears the woman down from if you look at it from a literal stance, from the beginning to the end, it tears the woman down. And my question was, when I was reading it literally, why is it that the Bible tears the woman down? So when I went on my search to find out, I had to look at the word brother, the word tribe. You know, tribe means patriarch. A lot of people don't know that the word tribe means patriarch. They don't know that, but when you look it up, that's what it means. I start looking at the brotherhood right in your Bible, and then I start looking at, from a literal standpoint, how the men encourage the men all the way through. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Why is the woman excluded? And so when I went on a journey of trying to find out, then I had to go to Egypt. I had to go and do some research in Egypt. I had to do some research in India. I had to do some research in China. Do you know, in all those places, including America, they have women carved in stone that they don't show. So I'm like, okay, why are these women carved in stone? Why are they carved in stone? But yet they're put down in the Bible literally. And the men behave like that. The men treat the women, not all men, the men treat the women in such disrespect. It's disrespect to take something that's so you know, the vagina was which is the womb, was actually sacred. It was very sacred because it held the energy that the man needed. Okay? The man turned around and disrespected the woman. So the vagina is no longer sacred. Because as the men start putting their sperm in the woman, she starts staying in her root chakra, in her lower root chakra. And that made her feel that that is the way she's supposed to be. The woman has yet to come from her root chakra. She's still sitting in her root chakra. Man himself is not going to evolve until the woman start evolving. Until then, the man himself is going to stay in the animalistic mindset. Men don't realize, but they actually thinking in the animal mindset. And I tell you, how is that? The animal don't ask for anything, it takes. That's what men do. He takes. Not all men, some men. Uh, the animal does not respect anything. Look at the little insect, the little smallest little insect. What it do? It gets on you and it bites the shit out you. That's an animal, okay? Without your permission. Look at the ant. The ant gets on you and bites the shit out you. It don't ask your permission. I'm just I'm just saying it does not ask for permission. The male that is not in his higher self, that's how he act the same way. And the women have seen this for years after years after years. They have become complacent and thinking this is the way it is. And it's not the way it is. You know, the woman is, look, I'll give you, and they stupid because let me just give you this. They said there's the Trinity. The Trinity, the Christian teaches that the Trinity is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Now, the Holy Spirit is the she. In essence, the Holy Spirit is the spirit that man needs. He needs that woman because otherwise he's not going to become the spiritual being that he needs to be. And so as a result, he's going to stay in his low self. You know, that's why I put out there that video where I talked about the original word man was people. As time progressed, they took that word man and they made it the male. That word is only associated with the male. But there is a big difference between a boy, male, which is the male is the boy, and the man is the mature one. There's a big difference. And you have more males than you have the man in the earth. Why? Because they have allowed the system to teach them how to disrespect themselves, how to disrespect their women, how to disrespect their children. Uh, I really wondered when I was looking at the story about Sean Combs, and I said to myself, why y'all gonna bring some damn tape out that took place in 2016? Cassie was 19 years old in 2016. And the question was, no, I'm sorry. She was 29 years old. Cassie was 29 years old in 2014. Was it 14? Yes, 2014. Now, when she met Combs, she was 19 years old. So she was of age. But let me read y'all comments and then I'll get back to that. Because we got a while. So human being says, yeah, the flesh is at war with the spirit. Right. And Raquel said it's different. It's different stages of growth in both female and male. It is. It is. When you go and see a psychiatrist, if the psychiatrist tell you the truth about how they measure the growth, it will be every 7 years. And I talked about this. It's standard, and they got that from the Bible. And the so-called Jewish people, they do physical festivals like the unleavened bread and all that stuff. They do that physical stuff, but ain't nothing changing inside. They still evil, many of them. Because you know what, I'm not gonna generalize it. I'm just gonna say the ones that I dealt with was evil. And but the festivals has to do with the internal. It's all allegory. And is in every the year of Jubilee, which is the great you, the great I am, the great you have now entered into your highest self. That's the great I am. Now you are operating in your power. That's age 50. Who do you know is walking in that power at age 50? Oh, hey Jay, how you doing? Yeah, I know. So human being says, I think the body is a prison but the scripture says it's a temple. It is a prison. The body is a prison for the soul. When you're, let me see, can I explain it just a tad? When your soul enter into this body, it you're now operating from your lower self, because the body is the lower part of you. Okay, the body is a lower part of you. So people thinking that they're operating, the soul is spiritual, but the body is not. So most people think that they're operating from the spiritual, but they're operating from the body. So the body teaches you things about yourself that's not true. The body is the one that keeps you in illusion and thinking what you're doing and what you're saying is true, and it's not. Okay, it's a false sense is what the body does to you. And so when your spiritual self tries to come in, you being the body will say, why am I getting those thoughts in my head? Those thoughts are because they're new to you. You're gonna reject them. So I know for a fact, when you are a spiritual being and you're in this physical body, I know for a fact the soul talks to you. I know that because it does me. But it says things to you that seem new, and it seems like it can't be true, because the physical body, your thinking, being in the physical body, has conditioned your mind to think that. So what you're doing, when you constantly fighting with yourself, but you got to know the difference between the soul talking to you and the body talking to you. You got to know the difference. And you only know the difference through the experiences that you have. You got to analyze yourself. Most people out there trying to analyze somebody else. You need to analyze yourself, because metaphorically, allegorically, the Bible really ain't nothing but a psychology book. It's about the mind. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that because that's something else. Okay, so, all right, don't forget to, Miss Dura, please thank you. Okay. And then Genesis says, not many. The part I'm still confused on is how we got trapped in these bodies anyway. Something happened. Yes, that something happened. Genesis, when I find out what happened, then I'll let you know. Because once we find out the root of this problem, I do believe that I know that we'll be able to rise the way we need to be rising. The reason, see, the problem is the English language too. We've been taught to use words that are low vibrational, and we're still doing it. It took them a while to put the English language together for us to speak in low vibration. And am I going to say that it's going to take us a while to get out of it? No, it's not. Because I do know that we have a language within ourselves that is very pure. But you got to not be afraid. That's why they put in the Bible, speaking in tongues. Speaking in tongues is just different languages, is what it is, but not the language that you know. It's a different type of languages. Okay, so, Jay says, I believe that as consciousness, soul, source, energy, we created these avatars for the purpose of experiencing this realm. Yes, it is a lower, more dense realm. Okay. Human being, do you think entities can talk telepathically also? Of course. Jay says human being is talking to you. Yes, it usually begins this way, telepathically in the form of thoughts. It always come in thoughts. Thought is the manifester of everything. That's why when I tell people, and this is, they get really confused about things. I tell people all the time, we are all bipolar. They use the term bipolar in the medical field, but we all bipolar. Why? Because we have two. Bipolar just simply means two. And I don't know why they people get so bent out of shape when I use the word bipolar, but we have the lower and the higher self within us, and they don't know where it's even the professionals don't know exactly. They're still studying the mind. They don't understand the mind totally because they start telling you that it is speech. Speech is the manifester. Speech is not the manifester. Thought. That's why they created something called Thor. Thor means thought. Thought is the manifester from you. By the time you speak it out your mouth, you've already manifested with your thought. That's why you got to be careful with your thoughts, because the body itself will put thoughts in your head because it wants to continue ruling in the body. It wants to continue ruling. And the more you allow the body to rule, the less the soul will help you. Because if you are focused on intellect, intellect has to do with this realm. Intellect has nothing to do with the spirit. I don't know why people always, that what they do, they throw words together to try to confuse people. Okay, so human being says, okay, I think this way also, but they have technology now that can do the same. Okay. Human being said we are in some kind of revealing period, ATM. We're actually, we're actually, we're actually in. If you understand the computer and how the computer works, we're actually in something called a simulator. Uh, I'll have to talk more in depth about the simulator another time. I'm not going to do it today because you wouldn't understand it. I would have to break it all the way down, and I'm not going to do that today. So Raquel says, let's see, y'all going fast up in here. Let me go back and see what Raquel said. I meant don't forget up the video for Miss Deborah. I accidentally left out some words. Please forgive me. No problem. You know, we ain't nobody judging you here. Jay says the problem is that we equate lower with bad. We did this for the purpose of self-mastery. It's all about mastering one's focus and attention. True. It's all about mastering. Jay says lower rims just means time is experienced as slower and our thoughts manifest slower here. We did that for the purpose of mastery. Imagine being in higher rims and manifesting things instantly. Well, I'm going to tell you this, Jay. I manifest now by thoughts. So, and I also know that thoughts is definitely a manifester. Uh, if it's a manifester here, I do when I go to sleep. When we fall asleep, we are falling asleep in the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is up there where that moon is. That's the that's the area of the fourth dimension is where that moon is. So in that fourth dimension, there's all kinds of things going on. So the third and fourth dimension is connected. Um, Above that fourth dimension is the magnetic field, not electric magnetic field. It is the magnetic field. The electromagnetic only takes place. The electric takes place down here in the earth. The magnetic field is higher than the earth. So Jay says you might create something you don't want to experience. Well, we do. In this realm, we experience manifesting slower. You have time to analyze your programs and thought patterns before they manifest in 3D. Okay. Genesis says, J, to master something would require building of something to master. Why erase your own mind and keep starting over and over? Just doesn't make sense to me. Raquel says, in this physical prison, how did we in this physical prison could be the fall of man from Superman to man? Bobby Hemmett, who is for some reason I can't can't read it. Okay. Let's see where we at. Hey, Fool Abroad, how you doing? You made it. Okay, Raquel said, how did we in this physical prison could be the fall of man from Superman to man? That's something you had watched with Bobby Hammett. Okay, Jay says we all do. They just show up slower than they do in higher realms. This gives us time to clarify if it's really what we want. Yeah. Yeah, they used Thor and Tahuti as thought, and it's just a name for thought. I mean, there is no gods. It's just it's like this. You had a group of people that knew the constellation. They knew it. Then a generation came and started naming the constellation. And then a group of people came along and start deifying the constellation. And that's what we are today. They start deifying everything. You got to know the difference between a name and a title. So they start titling everything. That's just what people do. Jay says, I understand the resistance to that understanding because of the pain that comes from forgetting our true selves. There's no resistance here, Jay. Yeah, you made it, Fool Abroad. Jay says, I also acknowledge a lot of souls can get stuck in time loops. The time loops is a reflection of the thought patterns that they're stuck in. Life will reflect this to you. Yes, sir. I was talking to human. Oh, you were talking to human being. Oh, well, you gotta say it because I'm gonna think you. You remember I'm reading this stuff, so I'm gonna think you're talking to me. Hey, BLH, how you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna think you're talking to me, Jay. But I feel like we're gonna make it. I feel like we're gonna get up out of here. Some time ago, I think in maybe 1999, that's when I first got a printer. It was in 1999. I think that was the same time I had got a computer. No, I had gotten the internet. I got hooked up to the internet. And back during that time, I had printed, didn't know why I needed to go and find it, but I was sent to these different websites just printing out stuff. And one of the printouts that I had was the God Games. I don't know if it's still on, but the name of the title was called God Games. That was the name of it. Okay, good. Okay, so Fool Abroad says, does lightning represent thought? Everything down here represent thought. Everything that you see going on in this earth came from thought. Everything. Everything made, from rain to lightning, everything came from thought. Everything. Okay, so Raquel says, right, and it is a book called From Superman to Man, recommended by Bobby Hemmett. It is an old book, but I do remember it. And Bobby Hemmett spoke about the physical prison. Yeah, I remember Bobby talking about Bobby Hemmett also told us that we need to, not making fun, but Bobby Hemmett also told us that we need to pay homage to the ancestors by doing ritual. And so here's my thing. If Bobby had succeeded in what he needed to succeed in, he wouldn't have had a stroke. Do you get what I'm saying? Now I'm using him as an example, but I'm not, because there are some things Bobby taught that I understood. But because Bobby was operating from books, uh and he was able to uh use those books to make a point of what he needed to make a point with, and that was okay. Because a lot of times you have to start from books, but the problem is staying there. You have to go from the spiritual. You have to go from the material realm into the spirit realm. Yeah, you can't stay in the material realm mentally. You have to excel. And the problem is people don't excel. A lot of people, they think they are excelling and they have excelled, but a lot of them aren't. And I pretty much can just sit here and listen to you and anybody else, and I can tell you where you are, because I understand spiritual things and I understand material things. uh so Jay says Bobby had some gems, but he was not void of flaw, as we all are not. That is why I love this. Miss Deborah says, take it or leave it. Yes, Jay, I will say that. And we have to do that in everything. That whoever, uh, uh, you know, wherever we go in people's channel, we have to take what resonates and what does not. I would suggest putting it on the shelf, because your mindset may not be completely on it and you may not be getting it. And then later on, when you settle down and from everything, and you be like, that's how you'll be. Because I've done it a few times, and so that's why I said, because if you one thing you cannot excel in, you cannot, and what I mean, uh go into your higher self, keep excelling, keep evolving. You cannot do that listening to, let me just say this, and I hope you guys don't get offended, because I do like Bobby. Bobby time was up. Bobby, they say, is not here no more. So you got other people here. And so it's not offensive to me that you talk about Bobby. I ain't got no problem with that. What I have a problem with, if you come on my channel disrespecting me. I don't have a problem with you telling me what you learned and what you know, and your thoughts, and that's all good, because we can grow from that. But if you come in trying to tell me what Bobby said versus what I'm saying, I'm just gonna block your ass. I'm gonna tell you that now, because I don't play that. I don't do that with people. I go to people's channel. We all got channels. I go to people's channels and I listen. I really do. I listen. Let's see what we got here. Fool Abroad said, Miss Deborah, do you think we have the power to control our death, such as when and how we die? I have a feeling we can, but I don't know. I don't like to know your opinion. I'd like to know your opinion. You know what? I haven't went that far. I yeah. But I will jot it down in my notes. But I haven't went that far, Fool Abroad. You be asking some questions, Fool Abroad. You just amaze me. Raquel said exactly, Jay. I agree with Jay saying. Yes, you might have to come back to it. Raquel says chew the meat and spit out the bones. Hi, Arian. How you doing? Okay. I mean, I don't care if he's still alive or not, Arian. You know. But I was just telling you that was what is his name? He's a guy that's on. He is a guy that does speaking as well, and he was the one that said Bobby was gone. There's a young lady out there. I guess she was a real big Bobby fan. She even saying things about Linda. Now I met Linda and I met Bobby. I'm in Atlanta. And I also knew a lady that used to date Bobby. So I know a little bit, not much, but I'm not going to share here. But you have to be careful about getting obsessed with people because it's best to discern. You need to be able to discern spiritually about things because uh, just like this case, and we'll get into that not right now. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. But so Jay says, no offense taken. I feel the intent of your words are positive. Yeah, my heart is yes, my intent is positive. My intent is I because it's important to me that people think for themselves. It's not good to rely on other people to determine your destiny or your journey. Your journey is your journey. I come on here and I share my journey with you guys. I'm not saying you guys gonna go down the same journey I'm going down, because that's not the way it's designed. But maybe something I say regarding my journey may help you to be able to go on your journey, and vice versa. You know. Okay. So Jay says, right, leave the comparisons out. Miss Deborah, we appreciate Bobby Hammond, and you are right. Yeah. BLH, I'm doing better. I'm glad you're doing better. Jay says, it's unfortunate that people still vibrate at the level of putting our people up against each other. We have we all have things to share and wisdom to offer. Let me tell you where that started at, Jay. And I talk about that all the time. That started in elementary school. In elementary school, do you remember when you had spelling bees? You remember when you had to do the multiplication, and then the last one standing is the greatest? Well, that's what I'm saying. You taught that stuff in elementary school, and some parents actually teach their own children to be competitive. And then you grow up as an adult. For me, I was never competitive with other people because I was always helping somebody. And so it was never a competitive. I didn't have time to be competitive with nobody. Even today, I'm not competitive with anybody. Now, people have tried to come and I was called the little Bobby Hemmett Jr. I don't critique anything that Bobby did. Uh, I do my own stuff. Now, if Bobby and him and I sound alike, oh well. There are some things that he have said that I already knew. There are some things that he have said that I did not know. But what I did do, I'm a person. I do my own studies. I do my own, and that's just what I do. Because one thing people have a tendency to do is to repeat with somebody. If it sounds like it's the truth, then people would take it and run with it. That's what some people do. You know. So Jay says, yes, I remember. They taught us to be in competition with one another, even in sports. Yes, sir. A lot of people don't realize, but sports was created for the male because of its nature. And that another topic, of course, we know. But the thing of it is, you have to take ownership. You're not going to elevate if you don't take ownership. And that's just, and what I mean, you can't speak for the rest of the males in the world. You can't speak for the mans in the world. I can't speak for all the women in the world. And I can't speak for the females in the world. But what I can do is share my experiences with them. That's all you can do. And that's it. That's why I was saying about Bobby. There was no need to say Bobby Hemmett was still in. I'm telling you what the person said. I'm trying to think of his name. What is that? I'm looking at his face, but I can't think of his name. He's a good looking guy. And he actually said Bobby was dead. Bobby had passed. Can't think, maybe it'll come to me before we get off. They taught us to be in competition with one another, even in sports. A lot of people don't realize, but sports was created for the male because of his nature. But that's another topic. Okay. Yes, so true. Okay. Miss Raquel says, Miss Deborah, do you think that Lucifer was one being of or beings? The light barrier. Lucifer just simply means light barrier. That's all it means. It's not a person. It's when you think about yourself, what's in that's it. Thank you, LUC. You must have heard Seven Bowman say that too. You must have, because you remember me, you straight out. Yeah, Seven Bowman was the one that said Bobby Hemmett had passed. And there is a video. Thank you, LUC. I appreciate that. People get defensive about people that have been out there teaching, and that's a set that really needs to. They're just like people that believe in Jesus. Okay, like people believe in Jesus. They feel they need to defend this Jesus that they don't know nothing about, that was created at 325 AD, at the Council of Nicaea. And see, people defend that. But the thing of it is, you can't take this book. I have the scriptures. This is the scriptures. The scriptures give you the words in Hebrew. Okay, and then I have a Bible that gives you the Hebrew, Latin, Greek, and English version of these words. You have to study the Bible. You can't just pick it up and read it. The only thing going to help you understand that Bible is that you got to discern it spiritually. And most of us did not start out spiritually. So we had to pick up some books. We had to pick up those things that will help us, the aids to help us understand what the Bible is saying. And truly, Everything down here was using the Bible, including the court system. Don't think that they wasn't. But I appreciate you, LCU. How you, LUC? How you doing? Came in right on time. So Raquel said, could it have been Brother Rich? No, it's Seven Bomer is the one that said it, Raquel. LUC said it. Okay, human being. Jesus and Lucifer are the same. Jay says we are Lucifer when we are speaking true. There you go, Jay. Because all it is the light barrier. It's inside of us. All that stuff is inside of us. They'll tell you that Lucifer is Venus. They'll also tell you that Venus is the morning star. It's the first star we see in the morning. That's a goddamn lie. The first star I see in the morning is that sun. There is no Venus up there, unless in the sun itself was called Venus at one time. You can't listen to everything that people say. So BLA says, I try not to discuss celebrities or spread hearsay. What about this Mr. Supposed man on the docket? Oh no, this is not hearsay. I want to make a point out of this, the story that's out there. I want to make a point, but we'll get to that. It ain't important, but I do want to make a point. It's an old story that people is sick and tired of, but I'm still gonna make my point. So Jay says that's what I was thinking. So Jay said, as I have learned from Miss Deborah, you can find a lot of truth using etymology. Yes. Don't take the words literally. Yes. I am doing well, just checking in. Oh, I thank you so much for checking in, LUC. You came in right on time. I'm in Bogota now. Wish everyone their best. We wish you the best. Raquel says, I got it. Okay, you got it good. Raquel, you were on the right train of thought. Yeah, absolutely. You know, we gonna get there. See, that's why I open up this line of communication, because I want you guys to come in when you can. Just tell me what days is better for you. You know, I try to come in because we need to start a communication line, and don't let what someone say. We ain't gonna have no bullies on here, because I will block you. The bullies are the ones that think they know everything. We ain't having them. But we can communicate like we supposed to communicate, and we all can write stuff down and go and research it out for ourselves, and then we can meet another Sunday or Saturday or whatever, and then we could talk about it, because that's something people need to start doing. I know who I am. Do you know who you are? You understand what I'm saying? See, all my journey has been women. Even in the spirit realm, they were women. And there were women there was a woman that came and told me who I am in this earth. See, and you guys individually may have gotten it, may have, experienced something different, or probably have experienced something different. So I have to stay to what was told me about my journey, and that's what it's about. See, here's the thing: when you can get into what your journey is, and we can all come together in our journey, and we can articulate to help each other, that's a beautiful thing. I have not seen that in this earth since I've been here, and I'm 67 years old. I have not seen that. I may talk rough, but I got a big heart. I get a little upset, but I still, my heart is big, and it's all about your intention. You know, my voice is heavy anyway, and it is what it is. I'm not gonna change that for nobody. I'm gonna be me, and I want you to be you. You know. Okay, so Jay says one thing I have noticed is that on this journey you can start to feel very alone and isolated. It's nice to have an online community when there's no one in your immediate circle to that. Well, that's why I did it, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have I live with my son, and me and he listens to me, but I have to really go down to the elementary stage to try to break it down to what I'm saying to him. And sometimes I don't want to do that. Sometimes I just want to have a conversation and we're articulating. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying. And I like the fact that he listens, and he's a Taurus, like I'm a Virgo, so we sharpen each other's skills. As a matter of fact, dealing with him teaches me how to deal with you guys, and it's a beautiful thing. It is, because he's not one of those persons that just take your word for anything. Okay. And I appreciate that, because he's sharpening me. He's teaching me how to deal. He's 46, but and then I have my grandbabies, which is in their 20s. They teach me how to deal with younger people like themselves, and I love that too. You're not excluded from learning. You should always have a learning mindset. And you should all, and if you've been called to teach and you're a teacher, you teach when it's time to teach. But when it's time to learn, you shut your damn mouth up and learn. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a time for everything. And the problem is sometimes the ego gets in the way, and it stops a lot of people from learning, because they are taught that they're taught that that competitive stuff. They're taught to deal with people a particular way, and you don't know everything. None of us do. You may know everything about your journey, and we should, but you don't know everything in how to communicate with people. Hi, love. How you doing? My husband is a narcissist, and he hurt me so bad. He left me, and I haven't heard from him. Oh my goodness. Sorry to hear that. But you know what? Let me tell you about hurt, love. Hurt causes you to take a look at your situation between your husband and your relationships, and it causes you to become a stronger person. Trust me. I'm a people person by nature, but a lot of times, because I was the type of person, and I'm still am to a degree. Uh, I always was giving to people, and when it was time for people to give to me and help me, there was nobody. And so I got hurt from that. And so I pulled away from that, from doing that every time for everybody. And so now Deborah is a mean person. No, Deborah's not mean. The problem is with people, sometimes they rely on you for strength, but they don't realize you are a human person too, and you need strength sometimes. That's why I'm saying that's why I'm opening up this live, because I want to be able for us to be able to do that, and to bring other people in, because it could work. I've done this offline with people, and so I know it'll work. It can work if you commit to it. So Jay says, I'm learning to have that mindset. I haven't mastered it yet, but that's so true, Miss Deborah. Never judge who you can learn from. Shoot, child, I learned from babies. I put on sometimes when I want to laugh, I go watch some YouTube with the babies. I be cracking up. So Raquel says, live bug, how long have you been gone? And how long has he been gone? And how long have you and him been together? So Raquel is asking you that, love. So respond, okay. I want to cope in I want to cope in a good way, but it's so hard and I am so hurt. Let me tell you something, baby girl. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You're gonna go through your evil period because that's a part of the ego. But once you go through your evil period, because you want to do something to hurt his ass back because of what he did to you. And that's what I mean when I say the evil period. That's okay, but don't stay there. You know, if you find yourself, I stayed there for a few months, and every time I did some shit to my ex-husband, that shit came back on my ass just like that. So guess what? I gave up and stopped doing it. And then when I stopped doing it, then as the years passed by, I started seeing him going through go he still that I started seeing him go through stuff, and I started feeling sorry for him as I am today. You know, I don't want to be back with him, but I feel sorry for him. So the point is, I tried to be the revenger because I wanted to hurt his ass like he hurt me. That's the ego. The ego does that. The ego attitude is, you hurt me, I'm gonna hurt your ass back some kind of way because I'm hurting and you look like you over there happy and shit. And it looks that way. It looks like they happy and your ass hurt and you crying every day, and they out there doing whatever they doing. Trust me. We all got lessons to learn, and we learn them through negativity. A lot of lessons we learn them through negativities. So BLH says, oh, it said Combs, Sean Combs. Right, Miss Deborah. That was my case. You helped them, and there is no one to help you. Me, hell, no. Raquel said that no, because that's the way it's said. I listen. Let me tell you something. When I divorced, my ex-husband told me, he said, "I'm gonna divorce your ass," and my ego said, "Oh hell no, I'm gonna divorce you." So I divorced him. You know who was crying every day? Me. I was going to work, staying busy. When I got home, I was crying like a fool. And then when night came, I was trying to figure out what I could do to hurt him. Did I go tear his car up or something shit? But whatever I did, trust me, it came right back on me. It came right back on me. Don't do it. Look, work on your healing because you need somebody that's going to love you. All women want men that's going to love them. If that male ain't treating you right, let his ass go. And I say the same thing for the woman, for the female. If that male ain't treating you right, let his ass go. Hey, how you doing? So Jay says, the narcissist from a spiritual perspective show us ourselves. True, they are mirrors. The opposite of narcissist is altruism. When we minimize ourselves in relationship to others, both must be healed. Absolutely. But it's hard. We ain't gonna say that shit is easy. It's hard because I've been dealing with narcissist people for the ever and a day. You know, narcissism comes in many ways. If a person shows up by trying to control you, because that's what narcissism do, think of it in this sense. When you have kids, you learn to control your children The problem is with that, when your children are grown, you think you still need to control your children. That's Gnosticism. That's Gnosticism. A lot of people don't know that. I talked about the Gnosticism in a video. It's still there's many forms of Gnosticism, many forms of it, and I talked about it in the video. And most mothers are narcissists. They don't realize it. The ones that have children, yeah, and they grow up, and then you still be trying to control your child. You have to know when to let go of the control. And most mothers don't know what their children need because they're narcissists. They be trying to tell their children how they should live their life, who they should be with. That's not your decision. You're supposed to protect your child, not destroy them. And when they become teenagers and they come to you and they tell you shit that they need to be doing, listen to them. Because they have a journey, and that journey starts young. A lot of times the mothers miss it because she's still in her narcissist self. And the males, most of the males, the fathers are not there in the household. And even if the father was in the household, don't necessarily mean that child gonna be raised right. My children had their father in the household. Okay, so we ain't gonna go there. Let's see what we talking about over here. Comma, let comma teach them a lesson. Well, that's what's gonna happen. I can't pull that. I'm trying to pull. Okay, there it is. Here we go. I was trying to pull. Let's see here. Maybe I need to change my battery. Let me change my battery. Because this mouse ain't moving the way I wanted to move. I've been playing with this battery for about 2 days. Oh, okay, let's see what you got. Okay. Why it won't move? This screen won't go up. Come on now. Is that you, YouTube? Come on now. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay. Okay, Love said thanks everyone that comment. Hi, Zaliki. How you doing, Miss Lady? You will make it through just as you have made it. Yep, she gonna make it. Jay says hard as all get out. I have endless stories. I bet you do. Where's Fool Abroad? You and Fool Abroad need to hook up. Oh, Fool Abroad quiet over there. I'm surprised she doing that. Let's see. Yeah, Jay got some things to say. Jay says, I swear you just read my thoughts, Miss Deborah. That dynamic isn't spoken about often. The narcissist between parents and child. Yeah. Listen, I'm a Virgo. One thing Virgos are when they become teenagers and young adults, we think we the bomb. We think we know every damn thing. And I was that Virgo. And so I had to go through the ego thing. And I wound up writing a 30-page document on the ego. And I was crying as I was writing. And because I'm serious about my spiritual journey. And when I look and saw all that shit I had in me, I'm like, oh, I thought we were done with that part of me. No. And it could rise up again, but I don't think it'll rise up again with me because I'm 67. I'll be 68 this year. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, there we go. Okay, so they think it's normal because many times their parents did the same thing. Yes, just normally what